Bros, we have got a big one today. We've got cancelled Kobe's, people filing chargebacks over the Travis Air Force 1 UTOPIAs, fights breaking out over SB Dunks, Supreme stores getting vandalized, and Supreme themselves being accused of systemic racism. Oh, and we got some more looks at some new Travis Scotts, powderpuff SBs, and plenty more in this week's sneaker wrap. Hello everybody, it is me, Jordan Young, back with another certified hood classic, no cap on God. If you like sneaker content, whether it is news or reviews or just commentary and comedy, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And while you're here, make yourself useful to me and hit the like button. Let's start off by recapping some of the big releases that went down this week. First and foremost, we had the wider release of the Yuto Horigome Dunks. This is one of the cleanest SB Dunks of the year, very wearable colorway. Resale prices right now are kind of around the 300 to 350 pound mark, or the $350, $400 range. And it was kind of interesting to see a little bit of split opinion on the quality. Some people have said that the pairs that they've received have been pretty subpar, and other people have been very complimentary of them. I unfortunately took all L's on all the skate shop raffles. It's looking like, for me personally, I'm gonna have to feed the resale wolves. Did you guys manage to come up on a pair? And what's the quality saying for you? Let me know. The other big release that went down this week was the Nike SB Dunk Supreme ramalzee collab, both the lows and the highs. This collab feels like it's been on and off for a little while now, and has definitely done a lot to spark up again the hype around Supreme. The release that went down in store in London was pretty sweet from what I saw. I was in the area doing some work and went past the Peter Street location as well as Dover Street Market. Everyone looked to be handling themselves quite civilly, but the same cannot be said for the way the release went down in New York. Store was absolutely vandalized, and the release, from what I've been able to gather, had to be shut down. Now we are going to talk a little bit more about Supreme in the news section, where we have a very juicy story regarding the resignation of the creative director. Now both these SBs are reselling for a little bit of money. The lows here in the UK are reselling for around 350 to 400 pounds, around 400, 450 bucks. The highs not quite so much, but we're definitely talking about Supreme again, meaning is the hype back? Let me know what you think. We're also seeing reports this week that people have had their orders from Mamba Day cancelled. I think this is worse than taking an L in the first instant. You get the dub, you're looking forward to your Kobe's, and then all of a sudden the order is cancelled. Some people are speculating that maybe people's orders are being cancelled where they have actually just posted these for sale showing order confirmation. Some people are saying that the shipments have been stolen, which isn't that far off the mark considering we know that Nikes are stolen at every stage of the supply chain. But I think the most reasonable conclusion to draw is Nike have just simply oversold the product or underestimated the stock, or the stock has just gone missing behind closed doors. What do you guys think about this? And did you guys get your Kobe orders in? Let me know. People are also filing chargeback claims through their bank for the Travis Air Force 1 UTOPIAs. And there could be a couple of reasons for this. One, people are realizing that they're pretty shit. After all, we spoke last week how these have come in regular Air Force 1 packaging. They have regular Air Force 1 SKU numbers, meaning they are what they are. A white Air Force 1 with a bit of chicken scratch on the back. It's also the case that these really aren't reselling for very much money. And so people have filed these chargebacks simply because they don't want to be stuck with these bricks. There are, of course, a lot of people out there still waiting delivery on these things. And so all this shows is that Travis Scott fans will buy anything that he puts his name on, and that there is still hope in the sneaker community in that not everybody fell for this bait. What do you guys think about this? And finally, to round off this week's release recap, we have this video here from the CRENSHAW Skate Club pop-up, where grown men, that's right, grown ass men can be seen getting into fisticuffs over the Nike SB Dunk Low CRENSHAW skate clubs. And this is of course a little bit disappointing given that these are grown men, but it's not unsurprising. Heightened tensions are always around when people are worried about securing their personal pair, but I think we can probably all agree that this is not sneakerhead behavior, this is reseller behavior. And throwing hands over sneakers is probably more in this case about throwing hands over profits. Right, so I want to get into the news, and I want to start off with this story right here, the resignation of Supreme Creative Director Tremaine Emory. He's been in the role for a couple of years and has overseen probably the worst epoch in Supreme history in terms of sales and hype and cool. You could argue that his tenure has been pretty shit. But he's resigned citing systemic racism from within Supreme as the reason. And a lot of people are thinking that some of the Supreme vandalization that went on at the New York store is a result of people looking to support Emory and obviously show Supreme that they are not happy with these allegations. Now the story is pretty deep, and Emery has shared a number of DMs and has made a number of lengthy posts on his Instagram, which I'd recommend everybody go and read. You can also read Supreme's side of the story, but here are the bare bones facts. His decision to leave Supreme centered around senior management's inability to communicate with him about the cancellation of a long-planned fashion collaboration with major Black American artist Arthur Jafar. Now this collaboration itself has been very controversial because apparently the nature of the collaboration depicted black slaves on t-shirts, either being hung or showing whip marks. And a lot of people are thinking, why on earth was this collaboration ever brought to light? This is way too edgy for Supreme. Profiting off this type of pain and selling these types of t-shirts to white kids was only ever going to be a recipe for disaster. And so people are saying that Supreme were well within their rights to cancel this potential collab. If anything, this passion project should have been left for Emery's own brand. Emery also says that Supreme largely piggybacks off black culture and only has a pithy 10% of minority representation within its design studio. And so the way I see it is Emery is unhappy at the way Supreme is structured. He's displeased at the way this collab was seemingly cancelled, although Supreme say that it hasn't been cancelled, it's just kind of on the back burner. And people on the other side are saying that Emery is out of his damn mind, thinking that it was ever going to be a good idea to sell slave imagery t-shirts to white kids. What do you guys think about this? Let me know. So we've seen the big red boots and we've seen the big yellow Crocs, and now we have the big BAPE boots. That's right, the viral footwear was BAPed and brought out on the runway for Tokyo Fashion Week, but don't worry, this isn't an official collaboration and doesn't mark the expected arrival of these two teaming up with more big bloody boots. Although as a big BAPE fan, I've got to say that as much as I'm not into the big boots at all, these are probably the best of the bunch so far. What do you guys think? The Travis Scott Cut the Checks. He was seen performing alongside Drake wearing a pair that looks to be white with a little bit of black and yellow on the midsole. And we've also seen another version in a kind of mocha getup that bears a striking resemblance to the Nike Spiridian, also featuring some rubber type netting on it, and looks pretty clean, it has to be said. What are you guys thinking about the Cut the Checks? Are these growing on you, or are you kind of thinking that they are dead? Let me know. The Adidas Samba is officially more popular than the Panda Dunk. Everybody can just cool their tits on the Panda hate and potentially redirect it if that's your thing. And the thing is, there's data right here to prove it. Check out this chart, which shows the level of interest in the Adidas Samba all over the Panda Dunk. And you can kind of understand why. Trends have shifted in the past year or two. People are sort of sick of seeing everyone wear Panda Dunks. People still want something that is classic and versatile and clean and easy to wear. And you can't deny that the interest in the Samba has been massively inflated by the interest in the bloke core soccer fit trend. Jorts, soccer jerseys, long sock Sambas, I mean, need I say more? We've had some official images of another one of this year's most lazy collabs, the Travis Scott Mac Attacks. I think it's kind of sad that the collective brainpower and creative nous shared by Nike's design department has resulted in them taking an OG shoe like the Mac Attack in its OG colorway, reversing the swoosh, putting Cactus Jack on the back of it, and selling it to us as some kind of creative collab. I mean, this is just lazy. It's almost as lazy as the other Travis Scott collab that people are trying to get refunded for now, the Utopia Air Force Ones. I mean, what is going on at Nike? J Balvin was seen this week wearing a new colorway of the Air Jordan 3. These are called the Solar Flares, and they basically look like the away version or the black version of his Medellin Sunset pair that are coming out later on this month. I think they look pretty nice, but I'm definitely more partial to the lighter colored pair coming out later on this month. What do you guys think? So after a lot of speculation and some very poor images, we have finally got a really good detailed in-hand look at the Nike SB Dunk Low Powerpuff collab. So far the best looks we've had are of the pink pair. Details include this huge eye on the rear of the shoe and these really colorful insoles. Definitely a loud shoe for sure. For me personally, I don't really know because I never really got into Powerpuff Girls. And there's something that just kind of feels a little bit awkward about being a grown man and wanting to get my hands on a Powerpuff Girl SB. If I'm just talking about the shoe itself, I do think it's a really bright and vibrant and exciting colorway. Definitely not shy when it comes to having some loud shoes in the collection. I feel like if I'm going to be going for any pairs personally, I would prefer to go for the green or the blue. What do you guys think of these? And that's it for this week's sneaker wrap, quite a juicy one. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Like the video before you bounce, and if you want to support me here in my content creation, please consider becoming a member. All of your support on here really encourages me to keep pumping out these videos for you. And with that in mind, have yourselves a lovely day, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care for now, and peace.